But no, I can't complain. This week's vacation week from work in a way.
Oh yeah.
So I've been fishing. It's my new hobby since I tore my ACL. I can't do that enough.
Sorry, Paul George.
He'll probably come back a lot better than I did. But I gotta sit down and do some things. But I've been enjoying these games, and that's it.
I feel you. Same.
How you been?
Pretty good. I've been good. Chilling. Enjoying life.
Getting ready for this Avengers
I'm
game.
dumb excited to see Avengers.
I
I was supposed to wait till Tuesday. I said, bump that. I'm seeing it at 9:45 in the morning tomorrow.
Friday in the morning.
Yeah.
And I bet you there's probably gonna be mad people in that movie theater.
Oh yeah, see, I got the last seat in the theater.
That's crazy. That really is
I
crazy.
got the last
That makes
seat.
me want to go see. I'm going to see it in the IMAX tomorrow night with family, and then we're going again Sunday. Already playing. Like this movie is definitely long. It's a long movie, but I'm gonna go see it 3 times for sure.
Oh, the
Maybe
thing is,
4.
I didn't cancel my Tuesday plan. I'm
You
still
still
going.
got it. Yeah, you're still going. Yeah. Like we already have about 2 movies already planned, purchased, ready to go.
Exactly.
We'll
And
probably
then
all go
see it.
together too. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Exactly.
So we definitely going to see it. Yeah, definitely going to see it. But this week, super interesting week.
Bro, so much basketball happened. Low key, I'm
Mad
watching these
basketball.
games. I'm like, I feel like I was like, Dad, we low key need to have a podcast almost twice a week because I feel like so much.
It's
basketball
crazy you
happened.
said that because pre-production, I was thinking of just stuff like that went on, and I'm like, yo, if we really got into detail about what's going on right now, the way we would want to, it would be like 3 hours.
Yeah, if I
Like
really, if
it's
you
a
really
lot
wanted
of
to go
stuff
like,
going on. But I don't want to do that.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, but so we're gonna try to keep it nice
We want to keep you here
and simple for y'all. So what I mean, so y'all don't get bored or whatever. Yeah, but playoffs, round 1.
Round 1. Most people are done.
Yeah,
A lot of people
most people are
finished
done.
in 4 games or 5 games.
Yeah.
Which I kind of expected, especially in the East.
Oh yeah. First round, I expected it pretty quick. One of the teams still playing is the last team we actually expected to still be playing. But besides that, and it's been a little bit more entertaining than I first felt it was gonna be. You remember from the first podcast, I was like, yo, don't watch the first round.
I tried to
Besides
tell
the
you.
Spurs and the Nuggets, I was like, don't watch the first round. But honestly, it's been entertaining. It is. You were right. I can't complain. What do you think so far?
I think it's been pretty good. I just wanted, I want to see your thoughts, even if they're real brief, on some of the rounds that the series that are done. We'll start with probably one of the least exciting ones, Bucks Pistons.
So I actually only seen one. Physically seen the whole game. I watch highlights of every single game.
Oh, you actually watched the game?
The last one they just played.
You better than me.
When they got it's a lot of this went the way it was. I thought it was.
Yeah, it went the way it was supposed to.
A lot of respects to Blake. He was hurt in the game.
Yo, he got surgery the day after.
He wasn't supposed to be playing.
I don't remember what day the last game was, but I remember I saw the highlights for the last game that night.
Mm-hmm.
The next day I see a tweet, he's getting surgery.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be playing, but he was like, yo, I just gotta help my team out.
He was out there with a robot leg. That brace he had was
crazy. I actually need that brace.
No, you do not.
I need that brace really, really bad. But I saw one play, didn't he drop 22?
Oh yeah, in the 2 games he played, he dropped 22 one game, he dropped 22 in game 4, 27 in game 3.
Yeah. 22, and then some of the plays I saw, he was limping and yo, I gotta get off the court. It's really hard. But it went the way I thought it was.
Tough to see.
Giannis, you can't guard him. At the
like
level he's at right now,
in the last game.
And he has that understanding, yo, I'm pretty close to unstoppable. So he's playing like it. He's playing super aggressive. Once he goes to the basket, it's no stopping him. So I think if we keep seeing that go on, it could be interesting in the East.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. What we got next?
Celtics, Pacers.
This
This series was surprising to me. I actually enjoyed watching it. The Pacers
too.
played way better than I thought they were.
Yes.
Considering they haven't had Oladipo all season, but I feel like I should have expected them to play well because they continued to. When Oladipo went down, everybody thought they were going to fall out the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought so.
And the fact that they still made the playoffs, yes, they got swept. But if you actually watch those games for the most part were closer than the score made it seem. Like they were in those games. They were.
Now I don't know if that was due to them, or
due to
the
the
Celtics not being as good as they were last year.
And
I
the
think
first
it's a
2
little
games, and the first 2 games I think was more so the Celtics that playing that well.
Yeah.
But in the second 2 games, the Celtics still played very well.
Yeah.
And the person who surprised me of how well they played is Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
He had, I wrote it down. He had And the game 4 he had 20 points off the bench, 7 for 9 shooting. Now, granted, he's not gonna shoot like that all playoffs.
No,
But if he can get them like 15 to 20 off the bench
mm-hmm.
in the playoffs, and he was just looking good. Like he was moving well, shooting well. He just looked comfortable. He hasn't really looked comfortable for a while, in my opinion. And
he hasn't. I think ever since he came back, he hasn't been the Gordon we remember.
Yeah. If he can get anywhere close to Gordon in the Utah jersey,
I think that'll be a good team. And I think for me, I wanted the Celtics, like I said in the first podcast, to get into the series, struggle a little bit, overcome it, just so they can find that rhythm back.
Yeah.
Because it's the same players, it's the same talent, besides, I think, Marcus Smart.
Yeah, Smart's still out, yeah.
Like, the same players are there. They just got to get things fixed. And I know, like, it's hard to say you can turn it on when you guys been wishy-washy all season.
Yeah.
But it's like, when you have that great talent, and it's not like a new formed team, you guys did this last year, it's kind of like, I should expect something more from you guys. So, I think overall they have the most talent in the East, but I don't think they're the best team in the East. Right now, I don't think they're the best playing team in the East, but I think they have the most talent on one team.
Yeah, on paper they're the most talented team.
Definitely the most talented.
Like that
and they're not. And it sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Whoever deserves to go to the finals will. What you got? Raptors, Magic?
Yep, Raptors, Magic. The Raptors look ready. Like the Raptors look locked in.
Scary.
Kawhi is scary. I can't remember who, one of the guys on TV, I don't know if it was like Stephen A or like Shannon Sharp, I don't remember who said it, but basically they was like, Kawhi scores with the efficiency and ease of Kevin Durant. And I was like, you know what? That's not a false statement. Like, he don't look like he be trying on offense.
Yeah,
and he just be getting buckets.
He doesn't.
And really it's scary.
Doesn't. It is scary. And the thing that sucks is, you know, I'm a Sixers fan. And that's who we got to play next. And just looking at some of these stats that are being said, like, I think the biggest problem that Sixers have been having, and I don't mean to get off topic, is defense. And I think that the Raptors might be the best defensive team in the East right now. And I think if they can come against a team that's only known for their offense at this moment, it's scary. I mean, the Raptors are my pick to go to the finals, to come out the East. You know, so we'll see how it goes. I think, like they said, Kawhi Leonard, he plays on a consistent level. You know what you're getting out of him every single night. I think if the rest of the team is just as consistent, I think it can be a really, really scary East team. And I would like to see what they do against, you know, I'm not going to just say the Warriors, but whoever's in the finals, I would like to see what they can do. Especially because we remember when he was on the Spurs before he got hurt, they were on the Warriors. I honestly don't know if the Warriors would have won that championship if he didn't go down. I really don't know.
Yeah. And I'm really excited to see, I had D'Lo as my most improved player for the regular season. But seeing Pascal Siakam these playoffs, I'm like, yo, he is hooping.
Yeah,
hooping.
He is.
I really like him a lot.
He really is. You know, 24-6 last game of their series. He's been good. He's been really good. And, you know, I would still personally pick D'Lo.
Oh, yeah. D'Lo's still my guy.
You know, it's just the energy and the swag he brings to the game.
Yeah.
It's just so different. Like, Pascal, like, the thing is, he's almost under the radar.
Pascal,
like, people who really pay attention to the NBA know.
Like, Pascal, like a great value Kawhi. Like,
I can see it a little bit.
He just, like, the demeanor is similar.
Yeah.
He's not as talented offensively, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying, the demeanor is similar. He can play on both sides of the court.
Yeah.
He might dunk on you, and he's not going to get hyped. Like, he's just that type of player.
Yeah, he is.
Like,
and I think that's why it's under the radar. DeMar is like, yo, I'm going to put a 50 bucket on you.
Yeah.
And then call everybody out on the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I enjoy it, though. It is what it is. But like we said, that game 4-1, Toronto and the Sixers should start their second round on Saturday. I believe at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
TNT, I hope. Don't take my information as false. So, who we got next? Sixers Nets. Since we're talking about the Sixers.
Yeah, Sixers versus Nets. Now, this series was very, very interesting. And I'll be the first to admit, you was right. And the last podcast, I said the Nets winning. I mean, the Sixers winning both games in Brooklyn.
Stop having doubt.
I remember.
You gotta stop having doubt.
I doubt because they make me doubt. They
lost one game. Toronto lost one game. You never said the Magic was gonna be.
Listen. It's because of how they lost that one game.
Disrespectful.
They
didn't lose in a bad way. They lost any team that is better.
It's
like, are you worried about Golden State right now?
That's not
honestly. It is. Any team that is literally better and they have a bad game because they all shoot bad, you don't have to worry about them losing that round. They're not going to shoot back for 5 games straight.
Yeah, this is true.
So like I said before, they shot, I think, almost the worst game of all year, and only lost by 9.
Yeah.
If they shoot half decent, they're not losing.
Now for me, the Sixers, they looked really good after that game.
I think thanks to Jared.
You think Dudley sparked something on him?
Didn't Ben drop 31 the next
Yeah,
game?
maybe. I mean, he did drop 31 in the next game.
He
That's
stopped.
also the game.
I think he pushed
Joel
the
didn't play. That was the game, I think.
And I
First
think
game in
Ben
Brooklyn.
automatically knew you got to step up when Joel doesn't play.
And then Joel came back in game 4, and then he dropped 31. So
yeah, and I think when you push the wrong buttons with the Sixers, and I think that's what I like about the young group, especially with Jimmy over there, because Jimmy's the type.
Yeah.
Just like in the last game, Jimmy got real. Was that the last game he got real physical? Almost pushed homeboy into the crowd. Pushed Joel.
That was game. I think that
I
was
want to say
game
it was
4.
Was
that
it
game?
It was either 4 or 5. It was definitely
4 or
Brooklyn.
5. If it was in Brooklyn, it was game 4.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. So either way, they brought that like physical, that Philly grittiness.
Yeah. For me,
To
the
the
big thing
game.
for the Sixers, like their other shooters got to consistently just hit shots.
I think that's
Like-
all it is for them to be a good
Like
team.
Mike Scott, JJ Redick, Tobias Harris. Like if them 3 can just consistently hit some jumpers.
Be who they are. Tobias
the
was
Sixers
fine
move.
when he was a Clippers.
Smooth.
He was
The Sixers
consistent.
smooth. And he was good in the last. That's like I think the last 2 games of that series.
Yeah.
He dropped 21 of those games.
That's why I'm not super worried about it. Let me not say I'm not worried about it. They're playing the Raptors. There's no room to not be consistent.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Almost
They
the
need consistency.
entire team. Now you
Yeah.
might be able to have one person that's off, but if you have Tobias,
everybody
Mike
to
Scott, JJ Redick, they're all off, you're losing that game.
Mhm.
Period.
They can't afford that. Yeah.
You
they
can't afford it. You can't lean on Ben Simmons.
Also, Joel needs to play at least 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, he can't sit out any of these games.
He needs to
He
play.
can't
30
sit
minutes a
out,
game
and
to be
he's
healthy.
gonna have to play because I think he might be the only player that's unguardable on the Sixers. Everybody else is guardable.
Yeah, he's the only
I
player.
think
that
Jimmy
has
makes
a
hard
clear
buckets.
advantage.
He might be okay, but Joel Embiid is the advantage.
He's the
of
only
Sixers.
one who has a clear advantage.
If he plays all-time great playoff
And
games,
even
it's
still,
nice.
I'm very Mark's not what he used to be. Marcus Gasol's not what he used to be.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see Marcus Gasol guard Joel and see how that matches
He's
up.
not going to guard Joel.
I don't think so.
No.
I think he can guard him.
The big talk right now is how can Toronto guard Joel, but I don't think guarding Joel is the problem. I think guarding everybody else is what they should just worry about. Joel's going to get his. A great player to get
It's
his.
interesting because that's the theory I have for
Yeah.
the Bucks.
Because
But
I think that if you speaking of that, actually, that's a great example. Remember when the Bucks and the Sixers played and Giannis dropped 50 and
yeah,
they still
they lost because they guarded everybody else.
They guard everybody else and you let Giannis get his.
Mhm.
Joel Embiid, if you let him get his, he's only dropping probably 40.
Yeah.
Let him drop his 40, and you can guard everybody else very, very easily.
And
Because
we've
what
seen-
starts to happen is Joel starts to overcompensate.
Yeah,
He'll
he'll
start
start
shooting
wilding out.
threes.
He'll start
He starts doing stupid stuff. I think if that's the way they go, I don't know if it's any secret, I'm playing
Yeah.
that here because I actually want the Raptors to lose. But if that's the way they go, then
I mean, because we've
it
seen
could be
teams
over.
shut down, for example, we've seen teams shut down like JJ Redick, by just whoever's guarding him doesn't leave him.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, just don't
Yeah.
leave him.
Don't
He's
leave
a
him,
big
that's
part
it.
of their offense. So
Yeah, so that could be the way it goes. Definitely. I want to get to this one. Blazers, OK City. I got to get to that one. I can't push it off. Oh man, that was. I'll tell you right now.
this was, as the Oklahoma City Thunder fan, this was very fresh.
Shout out to Oklahoma. Me and Hawk
And
were
this-
born in Oklahoma.
This series, basically around, if you didn't know, we was basically born around the corner from each other within
Like 3 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more than 3, but like 10.
excuse my mouth. Meant to be, boy. Man, we about to send this podcast to Oklahoma. Anyway, back to the topic.
This series gave me, well, first off, I'm gonna go on a positive note. I'm not even gonna talk about the Thunder. I'm talking about Dame because that's the person who deserves to be talked about after this watching this series.
100%. Let's show
Damian Lillard is like, y'all want to stop not talking about me? Like he's like he
It's been
he
too
put
long.
on display this like, yeah, I know I made first team All NBA,
Mm-hmm.
and I get recognition, but I feel like he's still, and not to say because I feel like it's a beating record. Everybody always says Dame's underrated, but he is, but he's not at the same time. 'Cause
They
like,
know what he is, but if you really knew what it is, you would stop being silent about him. We talk about
Yes.
James Harden. Why is he never talked about as
That's
MVP?
what, that's exactly.
Why is he
Exactly.
He's never spoken about in the year. It's like, okay,
Exactly.
Dame's doing Dame. But it shouldn't be like that. Like, we don't
He's
say,
nice
oh,
like
Steph's
that.
doing Steph, KD's doing KD.
Dame
LeBron's
top 5
doing-
point guard in the league.
Exactly. And we don't I don't think we give him as much respect as he
Dame
deserves.
low key like top 3.
Yeah. I mean, to show what he just did,
Yeah.
he put something on the board and said, look, and the thing is, I like the way he went about it.
Oh yeah,
I
he was
like the
chill.
series because they were
Like,
both chatting it up in the beginning. They were going at it.
And the thing is, like, Dame was chatting it up, but not in the way that Russ chats. Russ be OD. Dame was just Dame chat, but not like chat.
Yeah.
Like, Dame only chat and backs it up. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no, 100%. Russell shoot 8 for 30.
And Dame looked poised. Like, he looked
Yeah.
poised. He looked mature. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He controlled his
100%.
team.
100%. And I like when he was just like, look, man, I stopped talking and I basically let my game do the talking.
Exactly. Yeah, well, his press conferences were great. I was watching his press conferences and he was killing
Like,
it.
honestly, like, that game was just Dame in that series was one of the best player performances I've seen in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Relatable to KD last year, relatable to LeBron the year they went
Yeah.
3-1 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that
it
was
was
great, though.
hands down. It might be the best performance we see this playoff series. Like
It
this
might
whole
be.
playoff
Yeah,
run.
he could be
Like
the
that
best
performance
performance
was
we see.
because we didn't really have the Blazers picked. Now we knew they were very capable.
Oh, yeah. I knew they were capable.
But I
didn't
thought
have
the
things.
Thunder came off a great season.
Yeah.
And it was kind of
I
like
thought the Thunder had more talent
PG
as
and
well.
they're ready to go. And next thing you know, they didn't even get a second game off, which is just crazy. Billy Stan?
No, unfortunately.
You don't think Billy's staying?
Billy's getting fired.
He said they're about to go have a talk, and he said
Billy's getting fired.
he was like, "I'm confident I'm staying." I said,
Billy
"Dog,
Donovan.
if you were staying,
They
you're not."
gotta know who he
Talk.
was talking about.
Oh, sorry,
Billy
Billy
Donovan.
Donovan. He's the head coach of OKC Thunder. If you
He's
don't know what
gonna
we're
get
talking about, you probably watched the wrong podcast.
No, you can still watch it.
Get the views up, plug. But nah, who they?
This is why I say he's getting fired, right? Because something has to happen, right? You
Yeah.
have to do something. You
Yeah.
can't just run that back.
Yeah.
After you
Yeah.
got knocked out the playoffs, it's their first round knockout
on
for
the
3 years
board
in a row.
Yeah,
And they're locked in money wise with PG and Russ, and even Steven Adams is getting like 20-something mil a year. Like they're locked in. They can't sign nobody,
They
and
can't really pick
it's
up
hard.
on
It's
pieces.
hard. They don't really have great trade assets.
yeah.
So the only thing you can do is try a new coach. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see what happens. Side note, speaking of
I think you
Steve
might
Adams. No, I'm talking about Steve. I'm gonna keep him on Thunder for just a second longer
Okay.
because I watched pretty much all these games. I watched all these games.
Yeah.
How old, if you don't know, how old do you think Steven Adams is based off of watching him and watching him play?
How old do I
Do you think he is?
I feel like I know how old Steven Adams is though.
All right, if you didn't know, how old do you think he is just off watching him play?
I don't know. 28?
All right, that's not that bad.
20, yeah.
He's 25. He don't move like he's 25.
He's 20.
He moved like he almost 30. He's slow. He's lumbering.
So here's the thing. I said 28 because I know he wasn't in the league super long. But like naturally, you would think he's like coming down off a prime. Like
Yeah,
32.
he moves like he's coming down, or he moves like he's already past
25,
the
he's
prime.
technically not even at peak body strength.
But his body he's falling apart. Like he doesn't look good
Is he really?
at all. I was watching games. He doesn't look good. He can't guard pick and rolls. He can't switch on the guards even for like a hot second. Like he can't guard faster big men. Like I don't know what he's doing. And like Enes Kanter made him look foolish out there so much just because Enes Kanter had so much energy and getting offensive rebounds, putbacks, things like that. Like, and they're paying him so much money right now.
Here's my question.
And outside of getting spoon fed
Is
by
he-
Russ, I don't know what he can actually do.
Is he actually as good as he might seem before this playoff series? Maybe he's just not a good player.
And I feel crazy because I used to really vouch for him until
Like,
I saw this playoff series.
I'm looking at these stats. Career stats, only 9 points per game, 7 rebounds. Like he's a
He
decent
gets fed
center.
by Russ.
He's a decent center, but he's also on a team where it's very easy to build up some stats. It's either you or Russ is getting the ball. Like
Mhm.
he doesn't shoot threes. His free throw, whoa. So his career free throw is 55. You know what his postseason free throw number is? 36. You can't be a center and shoot that bad.
He made $24 million this year. He makes $25 million next year. He makes $27 million the year after that.
So I'm confused on why they gave him such a big contract. It's like my player contract.
Because that was, I guess they thought that was. I mean, they gave it to him last
He
year.
didn't look bad last
They
year.
gave it to him last year. He was 24, and he didn't look bad. He looked good last year. I don't know what happened to him this year and last year. I wouldn't be surprised out of nowhere if we hear he had like some sort of random knee surgery. Like that's how crazy he was looking at this.
Maybe OKC should take that in their hands and maybe get some type of strengthening program going. Something. Get him in the gym. Maybe he's 265. I don't really think he needs to really shed weight. I think just work with him on his feet movement, getting quicker, getting stronger. You know what I mean?
I don't think you guys will be able to trade for something after everybody seeing how he was worked in the playoffs.
Maybe they'll overlook
his
it.
Contract. I think
if you overlook this playoffs, he wasn't.
He's a good player, yeah.
Because postseason his numbers a little bit better. But I don't know. I have no idea. Now, quick, before I forget, Paul George hasn't won a playoff series since 2015.
I saw that. So you sent that to the group. He hasn't won since 2015, and can you pull it up? What series were that? Because
I'm gonna show you right now. I looked at it and said this isn't true. No, it is. Watch this. Watch this real quick.
Well, because
lost to Miami 4-2, lost to Toronto 4-3, lost to Cleveland 4-0, lost to Utah 4-2, lost to Portland 4-1.
All right.
2014, he was in the Wizards in the second round. He got knocked out. The year before that, I think they were in the finals. That's what you're remembering.
Well, I mean, that's as a Paul George defender. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a bit of a fan. I saw that, and I was like, it's not all his fault, but those are unfortunately true.
I mean, he played good teams. Like
he also did play good teams.
All right, here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm saying. Last year they got kicked out of the first round.
Last year they shouldn't have lost like that.
They shouldn't have lost last year. They should have lost this year.
Indiana days,
it's a repeating cycle.
But at the Indiana days, I was like, eh.
But the thing is, like, when you go to a new team that's technically a better team, and I understand it's in the West, it's a repeating cycle, and then you have a player like Russ, who people are kind of like, can't really win with. It just doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't.
So, like, I'm just hoping they get a new coach, something gets figured out there, because if you get a new coach and this happens again, it's kind of like,
I mean, people already
should have went to the Lakers.
People are already looking at Russ like, yo, people just can't win with him. I think that's like, I honestly had that thought. And I think part of it is with Russ, it's people are sick because I believe Russ is 30 or turning 30 this year, or is already 30. And people are like, you know, I heard people saying like, should Russ be a shooting guard? Should Russ, you know, do they need a new coach to be able to tell Russ to, you know, maybe defer to the hot hand in late games instead of just continuously going 100% all the time? Because I love that about Russ, that if he's on the court, he's going to give you 100%. But that also means he's not going to slow down and not going to, you know, control the pace. He's
he might not make the smartest decisions.
But they're also saying, they were saying like, Russ is 30. If you were going to have that conversation with him, you should have had it at 25. Like, he is who he is now.
Yeah, 30
it's too late to be trying to change.
He only got a couple more years before he's at this level. You think he's going to change it in his last 2-3 years of his prime? Nah. So that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
We'll see what happens with the Thunder. But Billy Donovan's unfortunately is getting fired.
Yeah. Who are they going to pick up? I don't know.
No idea. But I can see two things happening. He could get fired, but I could also see ownership not firing him, because they can say, well, Paul George wasn't really himself. He wasn't full healthy. Robertson was out all seasons. Like, he would have been good in the playoffs against like the guard Dame, guard CJ. Yeah. So I can see why they probably wouldn't too, which I think is a bad idea. I think they like Billy, and I can see the ownership.
You got to make a change. Firing. 2 years in a row, you got kicked out first round, and that's not the team you are. You're the third, fourth best team in the West, and you're getting kicked out first round all the time.
Yep.
Like, honestly, you put Paul George with LeBron on the Lakers the way it should have happened, I think they get further in the first round.
I can see
they're not losing to the Blazers.
Yeah, a healthy Lakers with the Wilson. Yeah.
So it's just like something has to change. Like, you can't just keep, especially because Russ is 30. You don't have a lot of time.
You don't.
You got 2 more years before you start declining. Maybe 1. You never know. The pace he moves at, I'm surprised he's still moving.
The pace he moves at,
it destroys the body early when you move like that.
Russ isn't going to have. I don't think he's going to have like a gradual decline, because he doesn't have a very. I'm not saying he's not skilled. I don't want people to misinterpret me, but he doesn't have a skill-based game.
His athleticism.
He gets
he
his.
Moves that. Yes, he moves a lot.
Exactly. His skill is his athleticism. I'm not saying he's not skilled.
Yeah.
He has basketball skills, but his biggest quote unquote skill is his athleticism. And once that goes,
100%. 100%. Was there any more games left?
Rockets, Jazz.
Oh yeah.
Harden gets buckets, and he makes it look easy.
Yeah, all year long.
Also, for the Rockets, great thing that they finished the series early because it'll give them some time to rest.
Yeah.
Because everyone always says Harden always looks tired in the playoffs because he
Yeah.
has to do so much. So let him get these couple of days of rest.
Yeah, get those couple days of rest.
And
I
then
think that's the
come back.
series I want to see.
Come back because I don't want no excuses. I want
Nope.
full energy from the Rockets going against
I
the
want
Warriors
Chris
in the
Paul the
second
whole
round.
time.
Chris Paul's
Chris
supposed got to
Paul.
step up next round. He only
Oh
scored
no,
he only scored over 20 points one game this series.
100%.
Now, granted, they didn't really need him to go off like
yeah,
that.
they didn't even. But
But they will need
we've
him
always
to.
talked about this. Chris Paul usually doesn't like to perform unless he's playing up against a great point guard. Now
This is
watch Chris Paul play
Yeah,
Steph
yeah.
Curry and go off
Yeah, you're right.
every single game. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think if they can get healthy, they can get everything in order, get some plans in, get some rest. I think it'll be a good series. I think it'll be hopefully the best series. Denver and Portland, I think actually be a pretty good series. Actually, these semifinals in general are actually gonna be really good. I would say on both sides. The people, yeah, on both sides are gonna be pretty good. So let me see. We got any Denver Spurs?
So
which is
tonight we
actually
got
on right now.
Oh yeah, it
I
is.
think the game's on right
The
now.
game is
Yeah.
right now. So the Spurs versus Nuggets is right now. It'd be game 6. It's in San Antonio. I'm actually about to look up that score now. I'm curious. And all right, Spurs are up 15-10. Game pretty much just started.
Yeah.
And I'll say this: the way this series started out, the Nuggets just looked like the lights of the playoffs blinded them, and they just looked like deer in headlights. And the
Yeah.
Spurs were just working them. Spurs were up, I want to say 2-1. Yeah, to start. Yeah, 2-1. They were up, and game 4 in San Antonio, the Nuggets win that. The Nuggets win game 5 at home, and I'm like. And now the Nuggets are the team that's looking poised, looking like they know what they want to do. Because if we're going to be real, the Nuggets are the more talented team.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it shouldn't have been that
But the Spurs had the
pop.
well, yeah, the Spurs had Popovich,
And
but they
playoff
also had playoff experience.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to go to 7 games. To be honest with you, I don't see the Nuggets beating the Spurs tonight at home.
I don't either.
And-
It's just getting drawn out. But I mean, this is the one we
It's
said.
getting drawn out.
It is, but we said this was going to be the best one.
You know why this sucks? Because this is great. This is great basketball to watch. If you aren't watching this series, watch
Yeah.
this series. But it really don't matter because whoever comes out of this is losing to the Blazers. So that's why this series sucks.
Yeah. Right now, you're witnessing how a talented team that might be more talented than the Spurs might lose because their coach is better.
Yeah.
Pop
And not to
shows you
say-
that coaching, not even to say that, but coaching makes a big difference in the NBA, whether you believe it or not. And I think the Spurs, they just have the right pieces,
They do.
and the right experience, and the right
Mhm.
coach to be able to take out the number 2 seed in the West.
Yes. Now Mike Malone is a good coach. Like I like him as a coach.
Yeah.
But Popovich is just like Hall of Fame level coaching. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah. He might arguably be the best coach of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's definitely up there.
Now, considering this is going to Game 7, do you think the Spurs could win?
Yeah.
And Game 7, like win 2 in a row, or do you think the Nuggets are going to pull it up?
Yo, the Nuggets aren't pulling this out. I don't think they'll win another game.
Really?
Yeah. Well, one, they can't win another game if they want to lose, but they're not winning another game.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you this too. Guard Derek White, please.
All right. So yes, he dropped 37
Guard the
in that one
random
game.
guy that just said, you know what? I'm almost drop 40 tonight. Help my team win. One, I'm trying to tell you, no team like the Spurs has ever had just random player just go off.
That's player development. They're
Like-
part of it's player development. Part is they just draft well.
It's crazy. I'm
I'm gonna
like,
keep
come
it
on.
up. I've never heard of Derek White because I don't really pay attention. To
I mean, I knew he was on their team this year.
I mean, I knew he was there, but
But
I
I was like, oh, he's
doing.
trash. He a bench player. He
I
come
know what he
off.
was doing.
He only playing because of 6 people hurt on the Spurs.
Yeah, like I
He
don't.
went off. Wasn't missing nothing. Like
Yeah.
he was getting buckets.
And part of that is, I saw somebody say, part of that is like, yes, the Spurs do like player development well. Yes, they draft well. But part of it is just the stability of their organization. Same
Yeah.
coaching staff, same
That's
trainers, same
When they broke,
people
don't fix
working
it.
there. Like it's just stability of that organization.
Yeah, and they do their job
And
well. They keep them. They keep doing their
Working
job
really, really well for them.
That's I can tell you that much. All right, so second round playoff predictions. East Coast, they're already set, so we can start with them.
Yeah, East Coast.
Celtics, Bucks, like I was saying.
I'm super excited to see this one.
Yeah, I am too, because I think that, so there's two ways this can happen. Celtics play to the potential we know they can play, because we know the talent they have. We know what they played like previous years. We know what they showed sparks of this year. That they are a good team. They didn't play that well throughout the season, and certain, they had certain splashes where it was bad games, good games, but we know who they are. It's not a guess. We know who they are. If they play like who we know they are, if Kyrie does what he does, if Gordon can just be, 75% of the player he was, and if everybody else, Tatum and Brown and all of them can step up, Rozier, like, this will be a very good season. I think they can pull it. But if they have those games like they did all year,
they get one of them slumps out of
I think
nowhere.
they're going to lose. But I think they will use the approach I was talking about earlier, where you let Giannis score, you play good defense on everybody else, and then you get yours offensively.
Yeah, because Giannis can put up like 40.
Yeah, because you're not going to really be able to guard him. There's nobody on the
There's
Celtics
no one
that
on
can
the
guard
Celtics
him.
who can guard him.
Al
I don't
Horford
know
will
where
be a
they're
body,
going.
but he'll be a body that is sacrifice.
I think they're just going to throw bodies at him. Like, you're going to look up, Horford's going to be on him. Like, Baines is
Traffic to
going
the
to be on
Pistons,
him.
they pretty much put like 7 bodies on him, and he was eating everybody.
They're probably going to throw like Gordon on him even for a little bit. Like, they're just going to throw people at him. Morris is going
Try
to
to
guard
slow
him.
him down, and then
But the biggest thing is they can't let them shooters get hot. Like, they can't let the Eric Bledsoes, the Brogdons. They can't let them. I mean, well, Brogdon. Speaking of Brogdon, they're still saying he's going to be out for probably like the first 2 games of this series.
oh, he's supposed to be back.
Potentially. So the Milwaukee
I thought he was
Sentinel,
out for the year.
their local, somebody from Milwaukee Sentinel, the local Milwaukee paper down there, said he's gonna be out for at least 2 games and then be reevaluated. They're saying it's a possibility he could play this series. If he does play the series, though, I doubt he'd be like the same, but he'd still be a great pickup if he
It'd
could
be a
come back.
nice little thing that back. See how it works out, but it'd be a nice chance. I could do something really nice. I didn't think he was coming back.
Also,
And
a big, I think, X factor in the series is going to be making sure the Celtics get out and guard Brook Lopez on the 3.
Yeah, and I think they will.
The Celtics big men aren't used to, like, Horford is kind of mobile, but he's not used to really guarding all the way out to the 3. Baines is not mobile at all. Like,
Al did a good job last year when Joel was pulling way too many threes a game.
that's true.
When he was shooting like 4 threes a game. And Al was pretty much shutting him down, which is the big reason why the 76ers lost last year. So I think if Al can handle that, I think he'll be fine. Baines won't do it. Al will be the one. That'll be a big factor for the Celtics. Honestly, like I said, I think it's defense. I think it's defense on everybody except Giannis. I think that can win them the game. And if they're just consistent on offense, Kyrie is going to be Kyrie. If everybody else, I think Jason Tatum is always going to be Jason Tatum when the playoffs hit. He's good. I think if everybody else is just consistent, I think they can win that. And then,
But the thing is, for me, for the Celtics, like you're saying, they got to play good defense, and you know who they're going to miss? Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. That's what I was
Marcus
saying.
Smart would be great
I
to
said that
throw on Eric
podcast.
Bledsoe.
He's out.
He'd be great
That's that.
to throw on Eric Bledsoe.
Kyrie would try to do what he did.
But Kyrie does not hang his hat on defense.
Nah, at all. At all. Not even close.
I mean, because also like Tatum and Brown aren't really known as great defenders either. Like they're, you know what I mean? So like, they're gonna have to be able to play defense, but they don't really have defenders.
You're gonna have to step up and just do what you've known.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're not there because of your defense.
Who you got winning that series?
So I say Celtics. Like if I had to put my money on it, I'd say Celtics because I think the Celtics got into the playoffs, played Indiana, and got things rolling a little bit. And I think they're kind of back to where they were. I think that their defensive scheme plan is easier to do than the Bucks' defensive scheme plan. I don't think the Bucks can guard everybody on the Celtics. Everybody on the Celtics is offensively talented. How? Who's guarding Kyrie? Not Eric.
Yes.
Eric Bledsoe is stopping Kyrie Irving.
Timeout. Kyrie's the type of player you can't stop. So let's just throw it out there.
So then, all right, cut him out.
There's the type of player you can't
Who's
stop.
Who's guarding Jason Tatum?
There are players you put who's the dude who just made not Brogdon, but the dude who was All-Star this season for the what is his name? Middleton
is guarding Jason Tatum.
He's
a
decent
body.
defender. He's a
Jason
decent
Tatum
defender.
getting 20 on.
He's a decent defender, my man. I'm gonna say right now, I got the Bucks winning this series.
All right.
Because I don't trust that the Celtics, will play well. Not play well. I don't trust that they'll play consistently. I can see
And I
them
can
winning the
understand that.
game,
I can understand
and
that.
then I can see them not looking like the Celtics.
Yeah.
And if they have
I
some
can
games where they
understand
don't like the Celtics, because I think the Bucks are going to play like the Bucks, regardless.
Yeah, I think they're gonna play like
Now, if the Celtics play like the Celtics are better than the Bucks. We know this.
They're more.
But I don't
talented
think the
for
Celtics
sure.
are going to play like the Celtics. So
Yeah,
that's why I
it
got
makes
the Bucks.
sense. It makes sense, and it's up in the air. You know, it's up there. If I had to put my money on it, that's just who I would go with. I just think it's easier to let Giannis be and guard everybody else. Like if you're not super worried about Giannis, but you're more so worried about everybody else, I think it's a lot of easier stops. Because Giannis, one, he's not really shooting threes. If you leave him open, he will take them, which I do like about him. He'll take it. He'll try to keep you honest.
One or two,
You know what I mean? So he'll take them. But we'll see what happens.
Sixers Raptors.
Man, you guys gotta understand, right? I'm a Sixers fan. As much as I want them to win this, it's just a lot of inconsistency I've had out of them.
Question, right?
And I think with the Raptors, if you're inconsistent against the Raptors, you're getting beat. Because before the Sixers started playing with this new lineup,
Yeah.
I think talent-wise, their starting five was better than the Toronto Raptors, besides Kawhi.
What new line are you talking about?
Jimmy, Tobias.
Oh, yeah.
The lineup, before they started playing. Once they started playing, it wasn't meshing like exactly right.
I see what you're saying.
So now we're kind of on paper, it was a better lineup. So I said, okay, all right, we can do something. We can go to the finals. They started playing. I'm like, I don't know if it's the meshing. I don't know if it's the fact that they're not meshing, because they don't look like not connected on the floor. People just aren't hitting their shots. I don't know where the inconsistency came from. Like JJ Redick was inconsistent all year. He isn't like he was last year. If I can get a consistent JJ Tobias and Ben be aggressive, which Ben can just choose when he wants to be aggressive, which is crazy because when we need you to be aggressive, some nights you aren't. But you can literally say, hey, I want to be aggressive tonight and drop 30 if you want to. If I can get an aggressive Ben and just consistency, I think it'll be a great fight. I can't even say the Sixers will win, but I think it'll be the match that we deserve to see.
Okay.
I don't want to see the Sixers lose in 5 games. I don't think this squad did not equal.
I don't want to see that either.
This squad was not built
round exit. I mean,
to
5-game exit.
That's not what they are. This squad was built to get to the finals. This squad was built if to lose in Game 7.
Yeah.
That's what this squad is built on. And if they don't do that, I don't think it's the players' fault. Let me not say that. I think they're good enough to do that. If not, it's either coaching fault or JJ wasn't hitting threes or Mike Scott wasn't hitting threes or you know what I mean. It's something else. But I think this team is what it is. I don't think this team can get any better.
Yeah.
They don't have the budget to get any better unless they just drop everybody they traded for. But you can't because you gave up so much. This is your team, so you got to figure it out.
I saw somebody say the Sixers just need players that are like glue guys who hit shots and play defense. And then it was a podcast. The other guy was like, "Oh, so you mean like a Shaman, Robert Covington, and a Sarge?" I was like, you know,
everybody they got rid of. That's what they did.
And
they played defense and they gave you the offense you needed.
Yeah, I think the Sixers, if they're quote unquote other guys, it's Tobias, it's Jimmy, like you were saying, if they play well, they can be all right. I think a lot of it. See, this is what nervous to me about this, because as much as everyone loves Jimmy, Embiid and Ben Simmons, they just really don't look like they play well on the court together to me, because their spacing is really weird.
I've heard that on
it just
94 WIP, Philly Sports Station. They said they should get rid of Ben.
I don't even know if it's get rid of. I don't know if I'm ready to go that far, but like,
not that he's bad.
I think it's not that he's bad.
I think that your statement is showing a lot more people see
it. It messes up their spacing. It makes it so Giannis can go and get 5 blocks on Embiid in that game because he doesn't have to guard Ben.
Because Ben doesn't stretch the floor.
You know, it makes it so like I can really see. Which scary. I can see them putting Kawhi Leonard on Ben Simmons and say, Kawhi, go harass everyone else because you don't have to guard your man.
That would be scary.
Like literally, Kawhi, go play free safety because you don't have to guard your man, and get the no-look steals he got in the beginning of the season where he just diving and looking at the ball.
Brett Brown can't counter that, and I think the Sixers. Ben isn't smart enough to say, "Hey, Ben, you got to be aggressive, or he's going to keep doing it."
So I'm just this is going to be interesting, and I think this series has potential. I mean, it's just potential, but it has the potential to expose Brett Brown.
And I think that's what everybody wants this year. Not that he wanted. Let me change that. Right. So
like I don't want
people want to know right
fired,
now. People want to know right now. This year, is Brett Brown a good coach? They couldn't figure out because we were going through the process, quote unquote. He has bad players. The Sixers were losing on purpose. Yeah. We don't care if Brett Brown's a good coach. Last year, they finally got a chance to have a good team. They went to the second round of the playoffs.
It was our first year.
Okay, we went to the playoffs. We got to the second round. Okay, now we build a team that's made to go to the finals, technically speaking. What can you do with this team?
Yeah.
And so far, like, they've won a decent amount of games. I can't really complain about, 55 wins? I can't really complain about that. That's all right. I can't complain about that. They 4-1 in the first round. Can't complain about that. We saw a couple things that needed to get fixed. So far, he's fine. I think this right here, depending on how this goes, could be job or no job for Brett Brown. Depending on this goes. I think if they lose in 5, honestly, I'll be honest with you. If they lose, because they put so much into this, if they don't go to Game 7, I think Brett Brown's getting fired.
I mean, Elton Brand's. We've already said Elton Brand is really already ready to make moves and he's ready to go in win now mode. So I don't disagree. Yeah,
I think he loses his job if they don't at least lose in 7 or win. If it's a very hard fought game where it's like, yo, man, like this was one of the best games I've seen in this playoff, I think he loses his job because I think they got to make a move. And this is the team they had. This team will not get any better because no big time player wants to go to Philly.
Yeah.
So I think this is who you got. You can take a bunch of star players, average good players, put them together, try to work magic and see what you get. But I think this is what you got. And if I had to put my money on it right now, I'm taking the Raptors, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I'm taking the Raptors.
You know, I want the Sixers to win.
I'm gonna be rooting for the Sixers watching the game
because I think the hardest team the Sixers have to play in the East is the Raptors.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bucks or Celtics. I would honestly give it to the Sixers in both of those games. I wouldn't give it to the Raptors, Sixers versus maybe not the Celtics. If the Celtics are inconsistent, I would give it to them. But the Celtics like to show up when they play the Sixers for whatever reason. But I think the hardest game for them is the Raptors. I think everything else might be hard, but it's not as hard. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm rooting for him. It'd be cool to see him, go to the conference finals. May have to get a ticket to that. Probably not. Too expensive. I looked them up today, man. I told you saw what I sent you, like $1,000 for 2 for like 100 sections. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we could wait on that one.
I'll watch that from home.
Then, let's see, what do we got?
So we could talk about potentially the Rockets versus the Warriors briefly, because that's unless by some crazy miracle, that's who the Rockets are playing in the second round, the Warriors, unless the Clippers wild out and win 2 in a row.
If the Clippers do that, Kevin Durant can't go to the Clippers. And if Kevin Durant goes to the Clippers after losing to the Clippers, he is a snake. He is a bum.
Chill, bro.
I want you to know that right now. If somehow they lose, Kevin Durant would still go to the Clippers.
First off, let's not even waste time with this theory because they're not losing to the Clippers.
Man, look,
they're not
miracles
losing to
have
the
been worked before.
They're not losing to
the NBA is rigged.
First off, the Warriors are beating the Clippers by like 30 next game. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah, if I had to put my money on, I might actually go into sports.
Literally like 30.
I might go into sports betting and just be like,
here. They're going to blow them out. But the Rockets versus Warriors would be really interesting. The extra rest, like I already talked about, will help out Harden a lot. And CP3's just got to step it up. What you just see?
Y'all got the game on my laptop right now for the Nuggets versus the Spurs.
I mean, that makes sense. Because game 1 won't be at least until Sunday, and that's if the Clippers beat. That's if the Warriors beat the Clippers tomorrow night. So game 1 will be Sunday. Something that was interesting, I just thought it was interesting, and the Rockets have already said that pretty much regardless of who wins tomorrow night, they're flying to. Because they're pretty much saying no disrespect to the Clippers, but we're expecting to play the Warriors. So they're flying to Oakland? They're flying to Oakland on Friday to get ready for Sunday's game to get used to the time difference. Which makes sense.
I mean, their own coach said Warriors 5.
Oh yeah,
Rivers.
Doc did say that.
Doc said Warriors are 5, and
After
the
game
crazy
one.
thing is his team won another game. I mean, I know there's probably a little bit of jokes, but
Yeah.
it was very true because you wouldn't make a joke.
I mean, Doc's a real one, so Doc's not.
He
like-
kept it a buck, and they
Yeah.
probably was like, "You can say what you know. I mean, we know we're not winning this, but we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
try, see what happens. You never know." But yeah, so
If the Rockets do play the Warriors, who you got? I think
So-
it's gonna be close again, like last year.
let me tell you what happened last year. From what I saw last year, if Chris Paul was healthy, there's a big possibility the Rockets might beat the Warriors.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000.
Now I don't know this year. Are they going to look the same? I think they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. The only one question mark I have is what type of Chris Paul are we getting?
Same.
Are we getting superstar or are we getting average Chris Paul?
Yeah.
Are we getting 17 points a game or 30? And I'm deadly from 3 tonight.
Yeah.
If we get the Chris Paul who likes to perform against good point guards,
Chris
I
Paul
might put my
and
money on the
I mean,
Rockets.
Chris Paul and Steph, Loki got a little rivalry between them because
they do.
they was battling back before the Warriors even started winning championships.
Yeah.
Them Clippers Warriors games, even before they won the first chip, was always exciting to see because them two would go at each other.
100%.
So
100%.
they've had a rivalry a couple of years, a little
Yeah,
rivalry.
so I would put my money on the Rockets. If
Really?
if I'm getting that Chris Paul, I'm putting my money on the Rockets.
Okay.
If I'm getting that Chris Paul,
Okay.
I believe so. I think Steph's been having a couple bad games. I think Steph will have
See, I
another
got the
bad game.
Warriors. I got the Warriors because
surprising.
I got the Warriors because of last year. Because one, because of last year, and two, because they see the foolishness that they got themselves into right now with the Clippers, in the sense that because this is why I tell you this. This is why I say this. I was watching that game last night, the Clippers Warriors game, and at one point the Clippers, it was like 1-4. It was like one. I wrote it down here somewhere. Yeah, it was 114 to 104. About 8 minutes left. The Warriors said, "Yo, it's time for us to come back." The Clippers didn't score for 4 straight minutes, and it wasn't because the Clippers were missing bad shots. It's because the Warriors were literally smothering them. And then they almost came back. They didn't. They lost the game ultimately. But in those 4 minutes, I saw, if they actually decided to play like this
Yeah.
on a regular
They
basis,
talked about that in the beginning of the season. People
Who?
who are not a defensive team.
I think they would do against the Rockets. Now, granted, the Rockets have the ball handlers that can handle that type of pressure.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be as flustered as the
Yeah.
Clippers were.
Yo, 100%.
But if they play with that type of energy, that type of aggression, I just got the Warriors winning this.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, we'll have to see. I think it'll probably be the best series in here.
I'd love to see the Rockets win it, but I have the Warriors winning.
Yeah, we're tired of the Warriors, but I mean, they'll probably stop that next year. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But until the Warriors beat the Clippers, can't talk much.
No.
Yo, whoever put their money on the Clippers on sports betting made away with a buck.
If you bet on the last game, yeah. If you bet on the last game,
Either.
even game one, like what was like, yeah, especially when they were up down 31.
And then they came back. The payout on that was probably
So it was probably
insane.
That joint was probably like plus 15.
$5 and probably like $1,000. Like that's probably
No, $5 is easily probably turned into like 100 and some change.
Yeah.
No exaggeration.
Yeah, no exaggeration.
When they were down 31, you put $5 on, you're making like
You
100.
probably pay $100-something. Yeah, especially when you put the $5 that they give you. No sponsorship to DraftKings.
Say that.
They didn't pay us in this for this, so no sponsorship.
We just
Don't
had
download
issues.
that. Yeah. So outside of the playoffs, other
Mhm.
things that's been circling around. Just today, I don't know if you saw the little tweet Magic Johnson tweeted.
Oh, the little tweet.
What did he say? What did he say? What
Magic Johnson tweeted, he said, "The truth will always come to light," with a smiley face emoji.
which
Just
a lot
out of
of
nowhere.
people, it was out of nowhere. We obviously know, like we said on blog podcast, just what happened about a week and a half ago. He resigned.
And it's funny because
really quick.
I don't know if that was before or after. Because did you also see what LeBron put on social
It was
media? 'Cause
after.
it was after.
And that's what I was nervous about.
Okay,
Because
because
LeBron was watching ESPN in the gym.
everyone's saying
And they
like,
were saying,
yo,
nah,
what is
there's
that?
a relationship they need to fix
Mhm.
first. LeBron
was like, nah,
he
I
doesn't
don't
have
believe
it.
the
He
truth.
said, don't believe it.
I'm in the
the
Lakers
gym right
facility
now.
right
You
now.
know what I mean? He said, keep the same energy.
So Magic tweets came out after LeBron put that up.
I believe so. Let's check it out and see.
Because that's what really made me stop the pause and think about it. Because in my mind, I'm like, was Magic saying like LeBron's just being nice right now and trying to save the Lakers, and there really is something they got to work out? And
I mean,
or is it that there was something rocky and maybe they did smooth it out?
it was
already?
after LeBron Magic Johnson tweeted that 9 hours ago.
And LeBron did. Okay. So I just think it's really fishy. I think it just goes. It's just another thing to throw on the pile that is the disaster of the Lakers season this past season, and now bleeding into their off season.
These memes are hilarious. In response to Magic Johnson, these memes are literally hilarious. Like they're some of the funniest things I've ever seen. Like these memes are hilarious.
So I think it's gonna be very interesting to see what the Lakers decide to do, coaching wise. Also, speaking of the Lakers, they interviewed Ty Lue.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to, I think, interview Monty Williams.
Jason Kidd too, right?
And then, I heard they interviewed Jason Kidd out of nowhere. I thought they were pretty much between Ty Lue and Monty Williams at one point, and then Jason Kidd got thrown into the mix. So I don't know who they're interested in actually looking at.
Yeah, I'm not.
And then did you hear Ty Lue said that, apparently Ty Lue said, yo, if y'all hire me to actually be a coach, not just to coach LeBron. Like, I'm a coach the whole team. You know what I mean? Like, Ty Lue made it clear, like, I'm not here just to be, like, the LeBron Band-Aid, is kind of what he said. Which is interesting because part of what we said was, you hired Ty Lue to be the LeBron Band-Aid.
That's what you are, Ty Lue. And, like, don't get ahead of yourself here, man. We got a coach.
Yeah, so...
Name's LeBron. But right now, we just need something to contain the attitude. Till the season is over. You can do that, Tyler. You can just be the face. Because LeBron can't be the coach and the face.
I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I want to be the coach, not the LeBron Band-Aid. Look, man, it worked for you in Cleveland. When LeBron left, you lost your job, because that's all you were. Now you better get another job. Be the LeBron Band-Aid, and that's what keeps you employed. I'm with it.
We'll see. I'm very serious to see what they end up hiring.
So, probably a topic we got to discuss. You might not want to touch on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna make it real quick.
You got this by yourself.
It's a little bit, it's a little bit touchy, and I'll be serious.
That's pun intended?
Wow.
I'm
I
sorry.
think about that.
It's not funny, but
Edit point.
That just was-
Edit point.
Yo, restart that.
All right, so yeah.
Woo! That really just came to me. That just came to me.
All right. Wow. So next topic. I'm gonna have a little. I'm a little bit serious. I won't make any jokes. Kelly Tennant, I believe.
Yeah, that's her
Sports
name.
Center reporter, or used to be. I don't know if she still is. Accused Luke Walton of,
Sexual
assault. I did a little bit of digging, because a lot of this has been going on, and it's just been weird. And I'm not making any accusations or anything like that. Just from what I've seen, some have came out true, some have come out false.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's on both ends. Guys do this. We know that, and there are women, probably less, but there are women who just do say that for a personal gain. We don't know what it is. But I did a little digging just to kind of see what was going on and everything. Probably did way too much. I was looking at this for about an hour. So like I pretty much, from what I realized, she made a book. He wrote something in her book basically. This was in 2014. She has a book called The Transition. I believe that's what it's called. And I think it's, what is it? Just changing your life when you get into the NBA basically? I believe it's the life transition once going into the NBA. I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe. But she did write a book named The Transition. So basically what happened was, supposedly, I don't want to get into a bunch of details, but supposedly at an away game to go play Los Angeles Lakers, November, December time of 2014.
When he was still the assistant coach.
When he was the assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors. Supposedly invited her up to the room. She went to the room, and supposedly he did some things she wasn't, kind of forcefully, she wasn't really excited for or wanted. They were longtime friends. I guess that was the reasoning of her being okay in the first place, to go up to another man's room when he invites you. But pretty much the talk about that is the Kings They've hired investigators to look into it. So is the NBA.
Yeah.
They're doing it jointly. So they are looking into it. Her lawyer did speak. He did say that.
Yeah, he did a
Basic
statement.
Yeah, basically he was just saying like they're trying to get a case, an actual criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really know if it'll work because it was such a time span. It's been about almost 5 years now until she said something. I don't know the reason why. I know a lot of times women don't say anything out of fear, and it does look like that might have been what it was, out of fear. Because as soon as he left to Sacramento, the story comes out in LA. Like, this is kind of what happened. He's not here no more. I can say it.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the looks on it. We don't really know what happened, but it's being looked into.
It's
But,
crazy.
hopefully it's not true. If it is, obviously he'll lose his job.
Yeah.
Even though they just hired him, because, that's the way it works. You can't do stuff like that. You do stuff like that, you lose your job.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks bad.
Also go to jail, but
Yeah, 100%. And it sucks if that's what he did, that if he does get away with it, I'm not saying he did it,
yeah.
but if he does get away with it, because she waited so long to tell, hey, women, say something first, because that is crazy. But enough off of that subject there. We'll let that be. We'll keep you guys updated on anything that goes on with that, if anything else does stem from that. But Hawk, I know we talked about some awards.
Yeah, so we talked about awards in our
last
first episode, and I realized we didn't talk about all NBA teams. And I was just curious what I don't really care about second or third team. It matters, but I only really care about the first team.
Doesn't really matter.
It matters
It
because
just means like
on your resume at the end of your career, it just says X time All NBA. That's what.
LeBron's second team.
Huh?
LeBron's second team this year.
He's been second team All NBA before. I feel like.
Has he?
I don't see why he wasn't.
You don't see why LeBron would be second team All NBA?
I can.
Alright, cool.
Just what's your first team All NBA while I look this up?
Alright, so I got Dame. I got Harden. PG, 13. Giannis. Embiid.
You kept him.
So, yeah, I kept Embiid. So here's the thing, right? With Embiid, I know there's some injuries. Now, there wasn't anything crazy this year. Near the end of the year, there was an injury that sat him out about 14 games, like the last 20. But before that, he played a good amount of games this year. I'm not actually sure. One thing I gotta find out is how many games did Embiid.
So, side note, I just did a quick scroll. LeBron James has been on the first team All NBA since the 2007-2008 season.
Yeah, I know. Why do you think I said that? Literally, isn't that Miami year or the year before Miami?
What, 2008? No, that's Cleveland, bro. That's Big Three.
Before he went to.
That's Big Three. That's Big Three Celtics winning that year. He's been first team All NBA since the Celtics won the championship in 2008.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to. I don't see why you would have picked LeBron every single. Because remember, he was in the East before this year. He dominated the East every single year. So he was literally first NBA for 10 years?
Yes, that's what it was.
And now he's not. And the thing is, they're probably just gonna move him to second because they can't.
He's going to be second team.
He just can't be first because he's missed 20 games.
Yeah, he'll be second team. Yeah, Joel Embiid. You said how many games did he play? He played 64 games this season.
64. I'm cool with that number. I'm fine with that number. Who Joel is, I'm totally fine with that number. Joel played 158 games in his career.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm reading here?
Yeah.
He been in the league 4 years?
He hurt, bro.
64 games, I'm fine with that. I don't want more than 64 games out of Joel Embiid.
What?
Joel Embiid playing. Listen.
No, you
if
listen
Joel
to me.
Embiid plays 80 games and going to the playoffs, he's dead.
Did he?
He's hurt.
Listen to me.
They understood
Listen to me.
we knew what the deal was when we signed him.
Bro.
We knew what the deal
Bro.
was when we signed him. We
He only
accepted.
really did 67 games out of Joel.
65
every year.
games?
Out of what?
Why? Last year, Joel Embiid did not play the last 17 games. You know what the Sixers did? They won all
You know
17.
we had the easiest schedule in the league. Don't try that. We played like the Mavs twice.
We're in the East. We're always going to have the easiest schedule in the league. We're the Sixers, and we're in the East. If those 17 games, 10 of them are East teams, we're probably winning those 10.
Lord have mercy. You okay with Joel only playing 60-something games?
65.
I can't be okay with that.
I'm fine with that. I'm so far. Let me tell you why.
I can't be okay with
No.
franchise.
Space it out and you won't know.
Only
Space it out and you won't know.
You will know.
No, you won't. Take 15 games. All right, boom. Yo, don't play no back-to-backs. That's probably all the games right there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Because I'm not fine with it, Hawk, but you don't have a choice.
I'm gonna tell you what.
You don't have a choice but to be fine
If
with
he
it.
plays 60-something games all the time, he never gonna be winning MVP. He not gonna make first. I guarantee you, he not making first team All NBA. I'm real sure. Ain't no media player gonna vote him MVP only playing 60-something games when probably the other players is doing just as much playing 80, 82 games.
That's true.
Well, anyway, my first All.
I don't know if a lot of people is doing just as much as Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was cooking. He is cooking. Here's the problem. He was a lot of his games he's playing hurt because he's forcing himself to play.
Well,
Yo, here's the thing. We signed him. We say that now, but you send him to another team for 65 games. He cooks up over there. We're looking like we got bum Boban, and now we wish we had Joel back. I'm trying to tell you. We knew what the problem was. I don't think we should give him a try.
He got knee
tendonitis.
Yeah,
I got tendonitis. If you're a big boy and you move a lot, probably a little bit bigger for your size, you're gonna get knee tendonitis. It's normal. Knee tendonitis is very manageable. I listened to a show where a lot of football players came on and talked about it. They said, nah, I had knee tendonitis my whole career. All that means is I ain't 20. I gotta take care of my body. Now the big problem is Joel
don't
does
take
not
care of
take
his
care of
body.
his body.
You saw what I sent you.
All right.
You saw
so
that
we're
clip
gonna
I
talk
sent you.
about this real quick. I was listening to the radio. It went all over social media.
Landry Shamet was on some radio station out in, like some interview out in LA, some local LA show. And they was like, oh, tell me about some of your rookie duties when you were on the Sixers. He's like, one of the things that we had to do was it Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A, right?
Chick-fil-A, yeah.
I had to eat Chick-fil-A for everybody. And she was like, well, what is one of the things that Joel, ate? He's like, oh, well, I mean, they got it for everybody, but I think Joel's order was like 4 sandwiches, 2 large fries, and like 2 or 3 milkshakes.
And it was like 4 cookies.
Oh yeah, and then like 4 cookies.
And they said they were on their way to a game.
Yeah, this is on the plane. This is on the plane.
How the heck? Like, now, here's the problem.
Bro, when I heard that,
It's Joel's fault.
It got me.
It's Joel's fault. He's 25. But at the same time.
Because then it made me think, yo, imagine if he actually, because I know he probably has a chef. He probably is not, fully making his chef, do his meal prep on the road as well. Imagine if he actually did that. Imagine if he actually ate healthy. Imagine if he actually took care of his body. Maybe he played more than 64 games. We hyped him, he dropped 30, and he's fat. Imagine if he was in shape.
He won't play more than 65 games.
His knees wouldn't bother me that much if he wasn't probably 15 pounds overweight from eating 4 chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, they would.
Bro, I'm telling you,
I got knee problems, and I'm 100 pounds, probably less than this nigga. No, I'm probably the same size actually. But, our height's a little bit different.
my point is,
I understand what you're saying.
my point is,
We can get more out of him.
you could get so much more out of him if he took care of his body.
Yeah. And I put part of
Because
that on
that's
the
not
Sixers, and I
the
put
first
part
time.
on Embiid.
Yes, because that's not the first time they said that. We've seen
watched
clips of
him
him
eat a
eating
burger.
Big Mac on the sideline.
On the sideline, yeah. Sitting, getting stretched out, eating a Big Mac. So it's kind of like
I'm sorry, yo. This wasn't supposed to be.
it's something that has to be touched on. At some point, for the Sixers to move as an organization, it's a lot of things that need to be fixed. This being one of them. But I will say, before this whole this unhealthy eating, I saw the burger thing. I didn't really think much of it because it was a burger, one burger, whatever.
It just showed me it's a habit of his.
But before this Chick-fil-A thing, I was like, he probably doesn't always eat great, but he's probably half decent. Before you put on that 15 pounds.
And that Landry Shamet quote made me think maybe he's not good at eating great. Maybe he eats trash on a regular.
100%. And that would explain why he's so tired every time he gets injured. He comes back looks bigger, he's slower.
Because he's eating trash.
Yeah. So
and not working out.
My big thing is he was a very injury prone coming into the league, bro. Honestly, if I can get 65 games out of him, I'm fine. That's just what it is. Yeah. Now, do I want him to take more care of himself? Yeah, I do. I just think our squad without Embiid can win. What, you got 17 games out of those 65 they got to play without Embiid?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
If Jimmy and Tobias come back and we can get something to work, I think we can win, at least win half of those. If we win half of those, I'm not worried about it. 9 out of 17?
I don't know.
9 for 8?
My thing is, I feel like Joel actually took care of his body. You see him on the court for at least like 70 plus games. 70, 75 games. If he just, something as simple as just eating right.
Yeah. But Joel's 25, and Joel also is the type of person to do what he wants to do. And I think that's the problem.
We've created a monster in Philadelphia.
We did, because we gave him, I mean, they did the same thing to Ben. Ben feels like he's probably like the top 5 player in the league because Philadelphia fans proved him to be. That's why I told you before, Philadelphia fans are crazy, man.
My All-NBA first team: Damian Lillard, James Harden, PG-13, Giannis, and Jokic as my center. Jokic is hooping, bro. Jokic.
Joel busted his ass.
Jokic is hooping. He led the Nuggets to the second best record in the West.
Yeah.
A tough Western Conference.
Yeah.
He passed the ball like we haven't seen a big man pass the ball in years, at least in my lifetime. I don't know a center who moves the ball like he moves the ball.
He moves the ball very well.
And he's got a nice offensive game. So I got the Joker as rounding out my 5th person. I think they had the same other 4 though.
Yeah, I don't think there's no doubt in that.
Yeah.
At all. Anybody who doesn't agree with Dame, go watch highlights.
I mean, I look
There's
at
a lot of people that don't agree
No.
with Dame.
I'm not gonna hold you. I was looking at it for a while, Dame or Steph. I really had to think about it.
I'm picking Dame.
I really had to think about it. I ultimately picked Dame, but I was on the fence. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, but I just said, you know what? Dame every year looks up and says, you guys still not talking about me the way you should be talking about me. So I'm going to show you again this season, again. And I'm glad he's doing it in playoffs because the big knock on Dame was
Especially
you
last
showing
year.
us.
Same was last year with the way they got embarrassed.
Exactly. You showing us during the season, you get in the playoffs, you get right up out of it.
Yeah.
So now that y'all beat OKC, you end up in the finals. It's like, all right, look, we putting everybody on notice. Dame is coming for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Now, all I gotta see is, let's say they go to the finals, they play the Warriors. If they lose, but Dame show up, I'm gonna say, hey man, is this the best point guard in the league?
Dame's gonna show up in the rest of the playoffs. He's locked in. He's gonna play well.
He's ready to go.
I've seen, watching his interviews.
Any guy that shoots 5 for 5 from 30 plus feet is locked in on
Yeah,
another level.
I've seen him, in his press game interviews, and he's just ready to hoop. Like he's like, I'm tired of the nonsense. Like I don't have time for like the chit chat on the court.
Yeah, it's no games.
And I think he took that first round loss last year to heart, and
So did CJ.
Yeah,
and I like that because I think it's a team thing.
Yeah,
I think they're all on the same page and they're saying like, yo, we are better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, like, we're coming serious. This is business, and we're gonna get this done. And I think as long as they're on that same page, we should be good.
I agree.
Well, yeah, you got anything else on?
No, I'm good.
We closing out. All right, guys. Thank you for listening.
One thing before you go.
Well, hold on now.
If you don't know, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts.
Apple. That's official.
Mm-hmm. We love you watching on the YouTube. If you're watching on the YouTube, keep coming back.
Yes.
But if you want to listen in your car, listen on the gym,
While you're driving,
you can find us on Apple
you
Podcasts.
can rep something brand
Just
new.
look up
to
Full
listen
Court
to
Press.
us.
We're still working on Spotify. I've been working with them all week, trying to figure out how to get some Spotify. But once that's up there, we'll let you know that as well. We out of here.
Anchor.
Yeah.
Anchor FM. And I don't even know the other name of the podcast.
Oh yeah, we're on Anchor. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Stitcher. We're
That's what it
on radio.tv, something else. I don't know the
is.
rest.
Spotify, throw us a contract. But, all right, guys. Thank you for listening once again. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.